What's up, everybody? Welcome to part 2 of my top 25 metalcore albums of all time list. Part 1, we went over 25 through 11, and now we will be going over 10 through 1. And also in the first video, I explained that a friend of mine sent me this Loudwire article of their top 25 metalcore albums of all time, and I decided to go through it with you and kind of decide on if their picks were good picks or if we could find something better to take their place. In 25 through 11 there was some decent picks, but a lot of them we could have found better. It seemed like they were trying to point out more obscure kind of like hidden gems as opposed to actually really good metalcore albums. Some of these albums that they put in there weren't even really metalcore, I would say, and I don't want to like gatekeep and be I don't want to be anal about it, but I gotta say that if you're gonna make a top 25 metalcore album list, they probably should be metalcore albums. So that's mostly the critiques that I've been finding. I'm hoping that the top 10 through 1 will be a little bit better. There was some questionable things, like Killswitch Engage was number 12, I believe. Yeah, it was number 12. Into Heartache, which is shocking because it should be a number 1. Same thing with Parkway Drive's Horizons was 22. So we'll see what's in the 10. So yeah, let's jump into it. Starting off with number 10, we actually have a pretty good pick. It's As I Lay Dying's Frail Words Collapse. And this is the main problem that I've been seeing on this list is I feel like they could have done better on this pick, for sure. Yes, As I Lay Dying is a really good solid pick. People would even argue that they should be up higher, but the thing is they're not even... I'm sorry if this is your favorite album, but they're not picking the best album from this band. It seems like they're picking albums that like jump-started bands' careers or like helped them kind of become like a household name, or it's like a hidden gem sort of thing within the band's discography that nobody really talks about. But that's not the point of this. The whole point is top 10 best metalcore albums, or top 25. This is number 10. So to me, I think they could have done better with Shadows Are Security or even Ocean Between Us. I feel like those albums are As I Lay Dying's peak stuff. And it's I'm not saying Frail Words Collapse is a bad album. It's just in terms of riffs, drum work, Tim Labisa's vocals and the lyrics and the clean vocals, I feel like they could have done way better. This isn't about, what albums are influential. This is supposed to be the best album. And they're not even picking the best album from this band's discography, which is a little weird. But, I mean, you can't really argue with As I Lay Dying in this spot. I just got to say they picked the wrong album once again. Coming in at number 9, we have Cave In Until Your Heart Stops. I don't even know if this is metalcore, to be completely honest. I wouldn't really classify this as metalcore, and I feel like they could have easily have done better, especially in the top 25 metalcore album list. I said this in my last video, which Trivium hasn't shown up yet. All That Remains, Fall of Ideals, has not shown up yet. Those would be a lot better in the number 9 spot, I feel like. Ascendancy, Shogun, like those are like genre-defining albums. Fall of Ideals, that defined metalcore and basically like got a bunch of people really hooked into the genre. And it's not here. Instead, we have Cave In, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Again, Loudwire's trying to think outside the box, but with this pick, it's almost like they're sticking their nose up in a way and trying to have their little pinky up and make themselves seem like they know more than the people that are reading this article, instead of just trying to pick an actual top 25 list and putting this at number 9 is just kind of weird. I mean, at number 8, we have Integrity with Those Who Fear Tomorrow. Again, picking a very obscure band here, a very outdated album, an album that nobody really listens to anymore. Sure, it's a solid metalcore album. It's 1991. I don't know if anybody would consider this to be one of the best, let alone in a top 10 discussion. It's a solid album for sure. There's nothing wrong with it. But when I think of number 8, I don't know. I feel like Breakdown of Sanity, Perception or Mirrors. I feel like that would be a way better 8 pick for sure. Integrity... I don't know if any of my listeners even have heard of that band. If I wasn't as old as I am, I wouldn't know who that band is. I wouldn't have even known what this album is. And honestly, I haven't listened to this album since the 90s, and I would not even consider it one of the best albums of the 90s within the metalcore genre, which was a very just non-existent thing back then. Again, we're not looking for pioneers here. We're not looking for bands that help jumpstart the genre. We're helping bands that are at the top of the genre, and this one isn't it. I'm sorry. Coming in at number 7, we have Earth Crisis, To Destroy the Machines. I don't understand this. As a top 10 metalcore album list, I mean, this falls kind of in line with Hatebreed, which came in at number 15, I believe, which I don't really consider it to be metalcore, really, at least not at this stage in the band's album. It just isn't it. This is starting to leave me scratching my head. I felt like the top 10 would be more understandable. I felt like that's where the real good albums would be. And not saying this isn't a real good album, but it isn't even really metalcore, which is weird. This would be like a top hardcore, not even hardcore, honestly. If we're gonna it's a good album, but I wouldn't even say it's in like a top 10 of most album lists, if we're gonna be honest. I feel like a better number 7, a solid number 7, should be Shadows Fall, The War Within. I feel like that would be a perfect number 7. That's a band where if you want to be kind of, obscure, if you want to be like a hidden gem, even though everybody knows what that album is that likes metalcore, especially if you're around in the 2000s, that album, I feel like that would be a solid number 7. And it deserves to be in a top 10 list of the best metalcore albums of all time. And it's also kind of like, is it metalcore? Kind of the same with this band. So, I mean, I guess it kind of works. It's interchangeable in that sense, but it is definitely a lot more metalcore. But oh my gosh, like that whole album, there's no skips on it. It's so good. And we haven't seen it yet. So I feel like a number 7 would be a good spot for it. Coming in number 6, we have Bring Me the Horizon, Sempiternal. And I can agree with this. I mean, it's when the band started to get a little weird, but I can still get behind this one. It's better than the last couple of picks that Loudwires made. I think a better album would be Suicide Seasons, or maybe even just either one of their previous 2 albums, but people could argue that those are more deathcore, so I feel like Sempiternal makes more sense. And it's also like peak Bring Me the Horizon back in the old days. I feel like this is just before they started to suck, and then before they started to make their comeback, because I do believe that they are really good. I did not like them. A lot of people didn't for a long time, but I feel like they might be better now than they were before. But this is when fans were in love with them, and this is before they started to fall off. And I feel like Bring Me the Horizon absolutely deserves to be in the top 10 discussion, and I feel like number 6 is a good spot, and I don't think they could have picked a better album. So yeah, I feel like this one works. Coming at number 5, we get a little weird again with Botch. We Are the Romans. This is a noise band as far as I'm concerned, and not only that, but I don't like Botch. I feel like I can never get into Botch's music. I know a lot of people love them. This is more of a me thing, my opinion. I mean, this all is my opinion, but I am a Botch hater through and through. If you think Botch should be here, number 5 on a top 25 metalcore album list, then more power to you. But I think it should go, number 5, it should mean something. It should be something you could really stand on and believe that that's number 5. It should be a staple. And if you want to get a little weird, honestly, with this pick, I feel like Atreyu's Suicide Notes and Butterfly Kisses is it. I feel like that would be a really good pick where people would argue with it, like you can die on that hill. I feel like that would be a good number 5. Sure, like I said before, The Fall of Ideals would be a good one right here too at number 5. But it is what it is. A lot of people don't think of Atreyu as metalcore, even though they say they invented the genre, which isn't really true. But if they did, this would be the album to make that argument for it. And Botch, it's definitely out there. It's a weird pick. At number 4, we have another really good pick. It's Killswitch Engage, Alive or Just Breathing. And I am a Howard Jones fanboy through and through. I feel like they should switch this record with End of Heartache. Put this at number 12, put End of Heartache at number 4. That is the way. Or even better yet, instead of switching them, put As Daylight Dies right here at number 4. That's their best album. I mean, straight up. That's where Howard Jones and Adam D started to make love to their music. Howard Jones came in, wrote a really good album, but then with as daylight dies, that's when things really started to connect. Arms of Sorrow, This Is Absolution, My Curse, that's where things really started to come together. That's when the band really started to jive. I'm not saying they didn't before, but it has the best. You can listen to it all the way through. It's so good. And that's not even saying Into Heartache doesn't deserve to be number 4. As Daylight Dies is my personal favorite. I'd rather see that here. But Alive or Just Breathing, I don't really think so. I mean, Jesse Leach he's good. I understand people love Jesse Leach. He's not my favorite vocalist, especially when Howard Jones came in afterwards. I admittedly did not like Killswitch Engage until Howard Jones came in. So anything before Howard Jones, it's like, I don't really see it. It's, Killswitch Engage deserves to be number 4, easily within the top 5 best metalcore albums of all time. But again, I feel like they just got the wrong album on this one. Coming at number 3, we have the Dillinger Escape Plan, Calculating Infinity. Probably going to piss a lot of people off with this one. This should have been in the 20s instead of anywhere close to the top 10. This is they're more of a mathcore band than metalcore. Again, don't want to, start getting like super gatekeepy on this, but top metalcore album list. Why is there a mathcore band instead of a strict metalcore band in the top 3? I don't know. Greg's vocals are kind of meh. As a number 3, there's so many albums you could have been with. Again, Beating a Dead Horse, we got Ascendancy, Shogun, The Fall of Ideals. We could even get a little bit more out there. August Burns Red's Constellations, or Messengers, or even if you want to be like, oh, we got to start with, where they started. Thrill Seeker would be pretty tight here, I guess. There's a lot of metalcore bands that would have been a lot better here than Dillinger Escape Plan. It's pretty wild that none of the bands that I've mentioned have made this list at all. I mean, those are, again, groundbreaking metalcore album. Messengers is so influential. Same with Ascendancy. Same with Fall of Ideals. They aren't here yet. It's number 3. Why is it not here? And I don't know. They're picking albums from the 90s. In Dillinger Escape Plan, I get it. You like that album. You like that band. And I know I don't. Sure. But number 3 on top 25 metalcore albums, I just don't see it. Coming at number 2, we have Poison the Well, The Opposite of December. This is a killer album. It's fantastic. But number 2, this hurts me so much because I love this album. I love it, but I hate this list. Number 2 should be something that could arguably also be number 1. Like you should be like, should it be number 1? It's so good, but this other thing's just slightly better. And Poison the Well, The Opposite of December, I don't think you could do that. I mean, again, I feel like I should be closer to top 20 instead of anywhere in the 10s. And it hurts because I love this album so much. But honestly, number 2 should go, and you guys could argue with me, but you're going to be wrong on this. It should go to Architects, Holy Hell, or All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us. Those 2 albums could easily be number 1 or number 2. But I would even put my personal Architects' favorite album up there, Daybreaker. That should be number 2. Sure, why not? Because those 2 albums revolutionized what metalcore is into what it is today. But I know metalcore today, it sucks. It's super generic. But when you go back to ground zero of Holy Hell, you're like, holy hell, this album is sick. And All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us. You're like, this is beautiful. This is the vocals, the lyrics. Again, like, this is the best metalcore albums of all time. Not the weirdest ones we could think of, or, the hidden gems within the metalcore community. Check this out. This is supposed to be the best of the best. And Poison the Well hurts me, but it's just, no, it's not it. It's Architects, Holy Hell, and All Our Gods Have Abandoned. It's one of those 2. They could be interchangeable, and even a lot of people would argue that should be number 1. And that's the whole point of a number 2, is to be like, I don't know, it's so perfect, but this is just slightly better. So let's find out what they think is slightly better and should be number 1. Coming in at number 1, we have Jane Doe by Converge. And I gotta say that I understand this pick. I respect it. but I hate this album. I don't like it. This is a me thing, straight up. This is more me. I appreciate this album so much though, because this is a very influential album, but also one of the best for sure. I hear all the different stuff in it. It's just, like I said, it's more me. I don't like the shrieky vocals. It sounds super crazy. It's hard. Like the music is closer to what I would call mathcore. It's all over the place. It's very unsettling, very hard to listen to. But a lot of people enjoy this, and I've seen a lot of people's top metalcore lists, album lists, and this one is always up there. And every time I listen to it, I'm like, it isn't for me, but I get it. I absolutely do. It isn't really my cup of tea. I would argue that, again, it's one of the most influential and most loved albums around. And because of that, you know, I'll probably get flamed and hated on for saying I don't like this album. But I agree. I think it should be number one. Again, and that's the whole point of a number one, number two. I feel like it should be composed of like the best of the best. And I feel like people would argue that maybe it shouldn't be. Maybe it should be number two, and Architects or Poison the Well should be number 2 or 1. But yeah, I don't think they could do better. Converge definitely needs to be on here. But again, this list is missing so much. It's missing Trivium, All That Remains, August Burns Red, literally the metalcore staples. And that's my main issue that I have with this list. It's just, it's not a top 10 metalcore album list. It's like, it's obscure metalcore albums that we think are really good that not enough people know about. It's more closer to that than anything else. And yeah, I just thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to listen to me talk about this. If you think any of these albums should be on there, or if you think a different album should be swapped out, if I'm missing something, like, you know, an album that you absolutely love that is obviously should be on this top 10 list, leave a comment below letting me know what it is. Maybe I haven't listened to it. I'll check it out. Maybe I'll fall in love with it and agree with you. So yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day or night whenever you have been watching this, and I will talk to you guys next time.